have developed that skill. Many, I would believe, are politicians. One particular one who was a member of our club many years ago is Frank Chavez.
Oh, that's one of the heroes that you, besides Mike Chua, that's another hero that passed through your club.
Well, I wasn't around when he was a member of the club. But I do remember also one time the parish priest of San Antonio Church in Forbes Park was a member of our club. And
Alright.
he delivered wonderful sermons. I wasn't a member of executive at that time either, but I was a recipient of all his wonderful sermons in the church.
So how does a person become a Toastmasters member?
How does one become a member of Toastmasters? First, locate a club.
Okay, which is where?
You can locate this on our website, the
Which
international
is,
website, www.toastmasters.org.
www.toastmasters.org. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then click on the button, find a club. Click Philippines, click the city, and a menu of various clubs will appear with a contact number. My suggestion is contact as many as you think will fit your schedule and your time, because each club meets at a distinct time of the week and schedule. So whatever fits your schedule and your requirements and location, ask to visit them. Visit the club, experience what a Toastmasters program is all about, and if you like what you see, ask to join.
How much does it cost to sustain yourself in a club?
It's compared to other training schedules, it is extremely cost effective. To join, you will initially pay the $20 fee, which is a registration plus your member kit, which consists a minimum of 5 manuals. Then you will, there's a membership fee equivalent to $4.50 a month, US dollars.
Do you have to have a certain criteria or a qualification or an age limit to join Toastmasters, or anybody from any walk of life can walk in?
No
18.
diapers.
No diapers.
No diapers, which
How
means
about
18.
suits? Big CEO suits, can they come in too?
Anybody can join Toastmasters as long as they're 18 and above.
You think it's designed for CEOs or
Yes.
middle managers or all levels?
Oh, CEOs can benefit most, especially because they're going to have to talk to their people. They're going to have to communicate to a really large group of people, and they must be effective at it.
So do you also learn to think on your feet in a Toastmasters club?
Definitely.
All right,
Think on your
yeah.
feet.
Okay, good. You know what we'll do? We'll take one more break, and right after that, we'll test you. Test your ability to think on your feet. Is that
Oh
okay?
my gosh.
Julia, would you like to be part of that
Sure.
experience? Okay.
All right,
So we'll
let's
take
go.
a break and we'll come back to Julia and Gina one more time. Welcome back to Expat Insights. I'm Raju Mandhyan. We are still with Gina Mapua of Toastmasters and Julia Holz of InTouch Foundation. Now before this break, we were talking about how Toastmasters, which are friends of Gina, learn to think on their feet. But before she answers that question, I'd like to ask her this. Gina, does a person have to be a good speaker?
To join Toastmasters?
Yeah.
No.
What does he have to be?
A willing learner, someone who wants to become a better speaker, someone who wants to become a better communicator, can join Toastmasters. So you don't have to be a good speaker.
Open-minded, flexible,
Open-minded,
adaptable.
willing to learn.
Yeah, and a desire to learn.
Yes.
Do they have to have a good mastery over the English language to become a Toastmaster?
Not necessarily. It is the practice that develops their skill in speaking English. All Toastmasters meetings in the Philippines, except for some occasions like Linggo ng Wika, where Filipino is practiced in the meetings, all Toastmasters meetings, as far as I know, are conducted in English. So if you can speak the language, you wish to be more skillful in it, Toastmasters will provide you with the opportunity to practice the language.
So if there are people who are coming from schools outside of Metro Manila who have no experience in the English language, would they be welcome and would they be happy in a Toastmaster surrounding?
Oh yes, they would. They will be, how shall I say it? They will be definitely exercised in the efforts to speak the language more smoothly.
In your years as a Toastmaster, have you seen somebody move from being a caterpillar to a butterfly?
Oh yes, definitely.
How did that happen?
He was a very willing learner.
Yeah, and
His
how
name's-
long did the process take?
It very short. simply because at every opportunity to speak, he spoke up. And when someone corrected his grammar and his pronunciation, he remembered it and then applied it in the next speech. So in his case, he was a hesitant English speaker, and 2 years later, it was smooth and it came out of him naturally.
So one of the things that you people do in a Toastmaster situation is do think on your feet.
Yes.
No? And you claim to be a good Toastmaster now, is that correct?
I hope so, yes.
You too, Miss Julia, is that correct? So if I give you a
Yes.
topic, would you be able to respond to it with eloquence and intelligence?
Shoot.
Yeah? How much time would you like to be
Standard 2 minutes.
Standard 2 minutes. Is that what's done in the clubs?
Yes,
Okay,
1 to 2
here's a
minutes.
topic for you, Ms. Gina. This is from one of my favorite Italian philosophers, Al Pacino. And the topic is, or the statement is, it's easy to fool the eye, but very difficult to fool the heart. The mic is yours.
That reminds me of many situations that catch me off guard every time, and that is how people perceive me. This is particularly true in the province when I go out for my Toastmasters events, or before when I was training, and I would have a Filipino audience. And since most of the training situations were held in English, I spoke English and ran the workshops in English. But once in a while, of course, I'm Filipina, I can speak the language. Once in a while, I would make a comment and come out and speak Filipino. And the reaction is always the same. You can speak it so well. Because in their mind, I look like a foreigner.
So their eyes were fooled.
Their eyes were fooled. But it's not easy to fool their hearts. My sincerity and my belief in them, I cannot hide that. I must show that through my behavior, through my words, and through my actions.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. What do you think, Julia? What's your feedback on that?
I think she did an excellent job, and I'm so happy you didn't ask me that question, Raju.
But what would you ask her to improve on? Is there something that she could improve?
For the feedback
Yeah.
session, maybe to give a clear conclusion to the little story that she told
That's right.
of what took place.
Okay, let's try
Would be
Julia.
more helpful.
Let's try Julia quickly.
Thank you.
Julia, I have one for you. This is from my favorite German philosopher, Goethe, and it says, you judge a man by your own perceptions, but you judge yourself through your intentions. I'll repeat that.
Whoa.
You judge others through your perception, and you judge yourself through your intention.
Okay.
The camera's yours.
Okay. Let's first discuss, we'll break them down into the two parts.
Okay.
Because you judge others by what you perceive.
Correct.
And I think Gina gave us a good example of that. That sometimes the way you appear cannot be helped or explained. So people look at you and they make certain assumptions. But when you are judging yourself, it's entirely a different matter. And we tend to be more hard on ourselves than we are on others.
We tend to be more hard on ourselves.
Yes, the judgment that we make on ourselves. And this is something actually through meditation, which I practice a lot.
Which you do too.
I
Oh my
also
God.
do that.
All right.
You learn to, what they teach you in meditation is you learn first to love yourself. And what this means is to accept where you are and not be too hard on yourself. And it's only when you're able to do that, then you can turn it around and reach out to others. So I think perceiving others, you can make a mistake or not make a mistake, but if you're dealing with your own feelings, it's very important that you take a very
Great.
positive attitude.
Great.
And
So
move
Pastor
on.
Governor, does she receive? So,
Yes.
Yeah, does she need? Okay.
I never would have approached it that way.
All right. Thank you very much for being on the show. We are coming to an end of this show. What I'd like to ask you is this. Coming from your cross-cultural background, is there something in your lives and your life in the Philippines that you'd like to change, or would you want it to be any different than it is today? Both of you, one at a time, 1 minute each.
I wouldn't change an iota of my life here. I'm very, very happy. I love my life.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that I don't look Filipino, but I feel Filipino,
Mm.
and that I'm benefiting from the best of both worlds.
And if there was anything that you'd like to say to Filipinos and cross-cultural or mixed cultured people like yourself, what would that be?
Mixed culture people,
Mestizos.
what advice would I give them? Learn to live with the best of both your worlds. Take advantage of it and enjoy it, because you are a whole bunch of lucky dudes.
and you're going to be a Toastmaster for the rest of your life.
Yes, it
How
looks
would
like
you
it.
like Toastmasters years from now to remember you, Gina?
Oh, to remember me, my goodness. Someone who cared about them, and someone who wanted very much for the members of the District 75 Philippines to realize their potential and achieve their goals and their dreams, and someone who tried her very best to help them achieve those dreams.
Great. Good. Julia, you, what would you like to share with people of your kind, or change anything in your life?
Okay, well, I agree with Gina that there is absolutely no use in going back on your life. You have to really look forward all the time. So what you would say is, in a meditation context, that this is a waste thought going backwards. So I would tell people to just keep looking forward. And what I wanted to say about expats, the advice I would give them here.
Yeah.
Are you going to ask me that question, Raju?
You asked it yourself. I don't need to ask you.
What I would say is that you can't change the physical atmosphere or the way things are. Like, people complain about the traffic, they complain about the pollution. There is always something to complain about in life. But if you want to have a happy life, you have to look at the good side of things, both the good side of people and the good side of the country and the good side of your situation.
That's your tip for incoming
Yes,
foreigners.
yes.
So years from now, as an American Filipino who's been living here, how would you like to be remembered by your Filipino friends, Julia, years from now, or students from your Living in the Philippines workshop?
Yes, this is very
nice.
It's a good question, because
I ask good questions only.
what I would like to be remembered for is someone who was able to share an experience that they will remember and that will make a difference for them and change the way they look at things.
Wonderful. Bravo. It's been a pleasure. Wonderful. And I hope you'll come back to this show one more time. Maybe in a couple of months.
Maybe we can ask the questions next time.
Maybe
yes.
you can ask the questions next time, because you're expats too. So thank you for being on this show. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Gina Mapua of Toastmasters International and Julia Holz of InTouch Foundation. I'm your host, Raju Mandhyan. Next week on Expat Insights, we have a gentleman called Esteban Warbeck of Ecuador. He is a country manager of Energize the Philippines. And the week after that, we have a Korean gentleman, Art Park, who's also a coach and a consultant. So it's been good with you. Good night and mabuhay. Thank you.